Worst football debuts of all time. While some debuts go splendidly and the player is instantly adored by fans, others turn into a living nightmare and transform the following days, weeks, or even months into an uphill battle to regain the fans' trust. Sometimes it's bad luck, while other times just sheer stupidity. Here is a list of the worst football debuts of all time. Number 1. Alex Jankowicz vs Manchester United. The Southampton debut of 19-year-old Alex Jankowicz against Manchester United on a Tuesday night was one of the worst debuts ever. It truly doesn't get worse than this. The Swiss youth international was sent off 79 seconds after the game began for a ridiculous challenge on Scott McTominay. He became only the 4th player in the history of the Premier League to get a red card within the first 2 minutes, after Tim Flowers, Ben Thatcher, and Gareth McAuley. Jankowicz's moment of insanity set the tone for the remainder of the game, and United punished him for his lack of self-control by raging against the helpless Saints team that finished the game with just 9 players. To make matters worse, Manchester United went on to win the game 9-0. Number 2. Gervinho vs Newcastle. Gervinho scored twice in the opening 15 minutes of his debut pre-season game against FC Cologne after signing for Arsenal in July 2011. His first Premier League game, however, wasn't as good. In fact, it was horrible. Up until he made the error of colliding with Joey Barton, the former Arsenal forward was having a decent debut against Newcastle. Then everything changed when he raised his hands against Barton, received a red card, and was suspended for 3 games for violent behaviour. Number 3. Jonathan Woodgate vs Athletic Bilbao. This one is also up there with the worst ever. After joining Real from Newcastle for just over £13 million back in the summer of 2004, he had more than a year to get ready for his debut in the capital of Spain. His career had always been limited by injuries, and that didn't change during his first year at the Bernabeu. As a result, when he finally donned the fabled white shirt in September 2005, during a La Liga match against Athletic Bilbao, all eyes were on him. After just 24 minutes, the white handkerchiefs were already out when Woodgate scored what was a magnificent diving header, but in his own goal. Matters became worse, and he got the chance to receive the full wrath of the home crowd when he was sent off just after the hour mark. Guess whose name popped up when the Spanish sports publication Marca did a poll to identify the worst signings of the 21st century? Yep, he made the fans wait a whole year to see him play just to score an own goal and get sent off. His Madrid career was further hampered by injury, and in 2006, Woodgate left for England after appearing in just 9 league games for Los Blancos. Number 4. Gary Flitcroft vs Everton. When Gary Flitcroft moved from Manchester City to Ewood Park in the summer of 1996, Rovers supporters were very delighted to see their new man play. However, the £3 million chairman Jack Walker had spent on the midfielder appeared to be money down the drain after just 3 minutes into his debut match against Everton, when he was dismissed for getting into a fight with Everton striker Duncan Ferguson. The next day's match reports pointed out rather cruelly that Flitcroft has cost his team £1 million for every minute he had been on the field, but that was quickly forgotten, and he went on to captain the Lancashire team. Number 5. Tomáš Řepka vs Middlesbrough. Tomáš Řepka, a Czech defender who joined West Ham from Fiorentina in 2001 for £5.5 million, had a reputation for enjoying the rough play on the field and is the next victim of the horror show in claret and blue. It came as no surprise to anyone when he was sent off on his Hammers debut against Middlesbrough. The no-nonsense centre-half was dismissed 20 times in his professional career and established a reputation for himself in 2007 after returning to his country, where he fought officials and a cameraman while representing Sparta Prague. Number 6. Ali Dia vs Leeds. In spite of being a university student with no prior professional experience, Ali Dia somehow managed to earn a Premier League start with Southampton in 1996, catapulting him into football folklore. Graham Souness, the manager of the Saints, was informed that Dia was related to George Weah, a former player for Paris Saint-Germain. Without doing any research, Souness made the decision to sign him and throw him into a Premier League match against Leeds, replacing Matt Le Tissier. Long story short, he was so awful he had to be taken off the field after 21 minutes. Number 7. Rio Ferdinand vs Leicester City. Rio Ferdinand made his debut for Leeds away at Leicester City around the turn of the century, and while he is now considered as one of England's most accomplished centre-backs of the Premier League era, his debut wasn't a very pretty one. A powerful Leicester team that found themselves 3 goals ahead before the half-hour mark made the West Yorkshire team, and in particular Ferdinand, look like fools after just spending £18 million to make him British football's most expensive player. Nobody could have imagined Rio having a trophy-filled career at Manchester United, as Filbert Street reverberated to the chant of "What a waste of money." Number 8. Carl Jenkinson vs FC Cologne. When he was unexpectedly signed by Arsenal in 2011 from Charlton Athletic, Carl Jenkinson would have been overjoyed to join the team he had admired since he was a young fan. He'd most likely have dreamed of scoring on his Arsenal debut all his life, but he never imagined it would happen the way he did, in a pre-season friendly against FC Cologne of Germany. Jenkinson produced a beautiful first-time chip from 25 yards out that strikers would be proud of. However, it was on the wrong side of the goal. His keeper, scrambling back, couldn't get a hand on it, leaving Jenkinson to rue a mistake he couldn't explain. Number 9. Chris Iwelumo vs Norway. Scotland gave Iwelumo his debut game in difficult circumstances. The striker understood that if he performed well when he was introduced with 35 minutes left in the game, he might have earned himself a front-page story the following day. With the score still tied 0-0, and Scotland needing a goal to keep themselves in the running for World Cup qualification. Iwelumo, however, dreadfully scuffed his attempt, seeing his prod mysteriously bounce wide of the goal, despite having the ball 2 yards in front of goal and no goalkeeper in sight. That was indeed a very horrible miss. Number 10. Lionel Messi vs Hungary. Lionel Messi may be the current winner and a 7-time winner of the Ballon d'Or, but his international career with Argentina didn't exactly get off to the best start. In a 2005 friendly against Hungary, Messi made his senior squad debut at age 18 when he was introduced in the 63rd minute. He didn't last long though, as he elbowed Vilmos Vanšák, who was apparently yanking on his jersey, and he was sent off in less than 2 minutes. Although much has improved since, one of the greatest footballers in history had a less than ideal beginning to his international career. Number 11. Mikael Silvestre vs New York Red Bulls. Silvestre moved to the MLS to play for the Portland Timbers after having previously played for teams like Manchester United, Arsenal and Inter Milan. However, Silvestre demonstrated on his MLS debut why signing an aging defender might not always be a wise investment. He was at fault for all 3 of New York Red Bulls' goals and displayed a severe lack of enthusiasm by misplacing passes, occasionally missing the ball entirely and acting older than his years. Number 12. Gaetano Berardi vs Accrington Stanley. Every athlete tries to establish themselves as early as possible for a new team. However, this doesn't usually happen. Gaetano Berardi, a Swiss right-back who previously played for Sampdoria, joined Leeds in the summer of 2014 and made his debut for the Elland Road club in a League Cup game against Accrington Stanley. With only 2 minutes remaining, for whatever reason, he decided that was the perfect time to use his new flying 2-foot scissor kick kung fu trick on his helpless opponent. And of course, he was given the boot right away. And that's it for the worst football debuts of all time. Did we miss out on any? Let us know down in the comment section. Also, make sure to watch this video in the link, and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. On the screen now should be another good video worth watching, so click on that video and we will see you in the next one.